Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to see more JSON functionalities. My name is Wally. I am a SQL Server DBA with over 25 years of experience in Microsoft SQL Server and other types of RDBMS. You may contact me in one or more ways as shown below. I'm also the founder of Data Grupo PBSoft since 2013, instructor, writer, and IT consultant since the late 90s with a growing customer base. Now, let's go see the process. Now, before we continue, I want to show you guys this website that's called Mockaroo. Now, the main purpose of Mockaroo is to create fake data. Not only fake data, but also create it in a meaningful way, which means you can customize what the type of values you want to get. Like, for example, the order of the columns, the names of the columns, the type of the data, and all that. And it will create the data for you and format it. As you can see, for example, I got this sample table, which is the one I'm going to use for this video. It has some specific columns, and I can actually add more columns if I wanted to. I can add different column types, as you can see here on my screen, depending on what you want to do. Also, you can export the data to different formats if you want to. You can use the SQL format. You can use Cassandra. You can use Influx, Excel, XML, even JSON. You can take this data directly to JSON if you wanted to, or a CSV file if you wanted to. In my case, I'm gonna create an insert into to this table, and I'm gonna tell Mockaroo to use these values with fake data, obviously, and also I'm gonna check mark this option here that says create table. Okay, and even if I want to, I can also do a preview. Of course, this is a preview, not the same data that I have because it's all fake data. So you can see these are fake names with fake addresses, fake emails, and all that. So yeah, it's pretty useful, you know. So if you want to take a look at that and create your own fake data for testing purposes, you can visit mockaroo.com. And this is not an advertisement. I'm not getting paid for this. I just find this is very useful for any DBA or any person that's doing any data testing databases. Now, back to the script. Okay, here's a table that Monkaroo made for me. Now, the table, as you can see right here, has 1, 2, and 3 changes. First change you're going to notice is that I turned it into a global temp table. Second change is on the ID column. It used to be just ID integer, and for fun, I created a primary key on the column and also an identity. Now, the reason I created an identity, I'm going to explain in a second. Okay, so let's create a table. And it says command completed successfully. Now, the table does exist and it's empty. So we need to insert some data in it. Let me bring the data that I want to put on the table. And let me go back to the top. Now, just as a reminder, whenever you want to do inserts on tables that have identity columns, and if you're going to, especially if you're going to do inserts on the identity column, if not, you're going to need to specify this. There's an option called set identity insert where you mention the table name and you say on. And yes, it does work on temporary tables. So if you were wondering if it did work or not, yes, it does work. So as you can see, this is the insert. This is one of the lines of the insert. It's going to insert, it's mentioning the ID column and the rest of the columns. Now for the ID column, it's going to insert a sequential value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay. Now in the end of the script, I have to turn off the set identity insert because you can only enable it for one table at a time in SQL. It might be annoying, but that's the way SQL works. So let's select the whole statement and let's do the insert. And it looks like it worked. So right now we have our 1,000 records on our table. Let's take a look at how they look. Okay, now that I have populated the sample people global temp table, I need to make sure that I have 1,000 records. So I'm going to run this select count really quick. And yep, I got 1,000 records here. So what I'm going to do in this video is that instead of putting a JSON document in a column in a table in SQL, I'm going to take the SQL data, turn it into a JSON document, and put it into MongoDB, specifically into a collection in MongoDB. For those who don't know, a collection is a table in MongoDB. That's how they call it. So in order for me to do that, I have to use a clause in the SQL statement. It's called for JSON path. Now, what this does, and in this case, I have a select statement, right? And the select statement has a star, which means I'm going to use all the columns on the table. It turns all the columns on the table, all the records, into a JSON document. So let's see how we get that. We execute it, and there it is. Now, let's click on that and see the document itself. Now, here's the whole document. And as you can see, it has all the key value pairs that I have on my table. It has the columns and the values right here. Now, just to make sure that I have everything in here, I'm going to move to the end of the document. I'm going to look for ID 1000, and here it is. Actually, let me make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, there it is. So I got my 1000 records from my table. Now, I'm going to show you how to put this into a MongoDB collection. Okay, now we're going to copy the result of the JSON document into a MongoDB collection. And just like you will manipulate anything on a Windows machine, you will press Control A and you select everything. Then Control C, as in Charlie, so you can copy. Now, we move to MongoDB. And as you can see, I'm on MongoDB Compass. Now, to the left, I have all my databases, or at least the ones that I use, and I have to proceed and create a collection. Now, to create a collection, I click the plus sign here next to the database and give it a name. In this case, I'm going to call it sample people. There it is. So I got my collection here, which is empty, by the way. And to add data to it, I just have to click on add data. And in this case, I'm going to insert a document. Add this window here, and this content you can always delete. It doesn't matter. You can delete it. Now I paste the JSON document that I have in SQL. As you can see, it's a whole big line. But thankfully, I have a small button here that's called format. Now, if I click this, it will format the document for me. I can look at the information before I insert it if I want to. And I will do a Control N with a keyword just to go to the end of the file. And there it is. I got my 1000 records here. Now, once I click insert, all of my 1000 records will be on my MongoDB table, as you can see right here on my screen. If I keep scrolling, I will get to the bottom of all of my records. Okay, so that's basically how you do an import into a MongoDB database. If you have any questions regarding this process, which was really quick actually, please leave me a comment or send me an email. And if you like this video and find it useful, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.